Assalamu alaikum. Hello dear students, how are you? I hope you will be fine. As you all know that your online semester has already been started from 1st June 2020. For this purpose we have to record voice or videos for your courses. The course I will teach you is design of hydraulic structure, and this course is for BTech Civil, and the credit hour of this course is 3. And my name is Engineer Mehul Masucha. I am lecturer Department of Technology, Sarhad University of Science and Information Technology. So starting off with the course outline, here is the detail of course outline. The first topic we will cover is diversion headwork. In this topic we will study about difference between weir, barrage and headworks, layout of diversion headworks, types and components of diversion headworks, the canal head regulator, canal regulation and cell control at the headworks. The next topic we will study about theories of seepage and design of weir and barrage. In this topic we will study about causes of failure by piping and direct uplift which is caused by seepage, safety against piping and uplift, and then we will study about how to safeguard against these failures. In this regard we will study about Blake's theory, Lenz theory, and concept of net flow nets, streamlines and equipotential lines, critical gradients, and Koszla method of independent variable for determination of pressure, uplift pressure. In the next topic we will study about canal outlets or modules. In this topic we will cover types of modules, canal outlets, their definitions and locations, and types of falls, canal falls. In the next topic we will study about irrigation works, falls, flumes, outlets, cross drainage works. These are the different topics in which we will cover in the main topic of irrigation works. At the end we will study about dams. In dams we will study about low and high dams, forces acting on dams, design and drawings of gravity dams, requirements of stability of dams, zonal methods of dams, types of spillways, environmental impact of dams. These are the different topics which we will cover in the main topic of dams. Here is the list of some recommended books. The first one is Justin J. D. Hines, J. and Krager, W.P. The book name is Engineering of Names 2 and 3 volume. These are the 2 volumes of the book named Engineering of Dams, written by Justin J. D. Hines and J. N. Krager, W.P. The second recommended book is Design of Small Dams by U.S. Bureau of Reclamation. The objectives of the course are to impart knowledge regarding the design of the various minor irrigation structure. Also, to convey the knowledge on the causes of failure, design criteria, and stability analysis of different types of dams. So these are the 2 main objectives of our course. So today is your lecture number 1, and we will now record the lecture number 1. In lecture number 1, first we have introduction. We have the first topic, hydraulic structure. So what is hydraulic structure? Hydraulic structures are engineering structures constructed for the purposes of controlling and using water resources. Water resources may be groundwater, surface water, lake, sea, etc. So hydraulic structures are constructed to control the use of water for our resources, or for the prevention of the negative and destructive action such as floods, shore erosion, etc. of water on the surrounding in water. Also, when we construct the structure, so we protect our surrounding environment from negative effect of water, that is floods, shores erosion, etc. So these are the main purposes of hydraulic structures. There are a large variety of hydraulic structures to serve the many purposes for which water resources are put to use. There are several classifications of hydraulic structure. However, the most important is the classification by function as given below. We have a large variety of different types of hydraulic structure, and we characterize them or classify them by function, and their classification is given as by table number 1, classification of hydraulic structures by function. In this classification, in the first column we have type of structure, in the second column we have its purpose, and in the third column we have the structures. So number 1 is storage structure, and the purpose of this type of structure is to store water, and the structures coming in this type of structures are dams and tanks. Through dams and tanks we store water for our required purpose. Number 2, flow control structures, and the purpose of this type of structure is to regulate the quantity and pass excess flow, and the structure coming in this type of structure are spillways, outlets, gates, walls, etc. Through these structure we regulate the quantity of water for our required purposes. Number 3, flow measurement structure, and the purpose of these type of structures are to determine discharge, and the structure coming in this type of structures are weirs, orifices, and flumes. So these are the structures to which we determine the discharge in different types of channels, pipes, etc. The fourth one is diversion structure. As the name indicates, these structures are used to divert the main course of water or to divert the main path of water, and the structure coming in these type of structures are cofferdams, weirs, canals, canal headworks, intake works. These are the different structures which are used for the diversion of water for our required purposes. The fifth one is conveyance structure, and the purpose of this type of structure is to guide flow from one location to another, means to transfer water or to move water from one point to another. And the structures coming in these type of structures are open channel, pressure conduits, pipes, canals, and sewers. So these type of structures are used to guide the flow of water from one location to another. Number 6 one is collection structures, and the purpose of this type of structure is to collect water for disposal, and the structure which are used for this purpose are drain inlets, infiltration galleries, wells, etc. These are the different structures which are constructed for the purpose of collecting of water and for disposal. The seventh one is energy dissipation structure, and these type of structures are used for the purpose of to prevent erosion and structural damage to our structures. And the structures coming in these type of structures are steering basins, surge tanks, check dams. These are different structures which are used to prevent erosion and structural damage to our buildings, etc. Number 8, shore protection structures. The purpose of shore protection structures are to protect banks, and the structures coming in these type of structures are dikes, groins, jetties, and revetments. These are the different structures which are constructed for the purpose of shore protection or to protect our banks. Number 9. River training and waterway stabilization structures. The purpose of this type of structure is to maintain river channel and water transportation. And the type of structure coming in these type of structures are levees, cutoffs, locks, piers, culverts. These are the different structures which are used to maintain river channel and water transportation. The 10th one is sediment and quality control structures. These type of structures are used to control or remove sediments and other pollutants. And the structures used are racks, screens, traps, sedimentation tanks, filters, sluiceways. These are the different structures which are used to remove sediments and other pollutant material from our water, so that clear water should be used for our required purposes. 11th one is hydraulic machines, and the type of structures which are used for this type of structure is pumps, turbines, rams, and their purpose is to convert energy from one form to another. So these structures are used to convert mechanical energy or water energy to other form of energies, etc. So this is the classification with respect to function for different type of structures. The next topic we have diversion headworks. So what is diversion headwork? The works which are constructed at the head of the canal in order to divert the river water towards the canal, so as to ensure a regulated continuous supply of silt-free water with a certain minimum head into the canal, are known as diversion headworks. So diversion headworks are constructed at the head of the canal in order to divert the river water for our required purpose in the canals, and also to ensure a regulated supply for our required purposes, and also the water which we get from the diversion headwork is silt-free or other pollutants. And these type of structures are known as diversion headworks. The objective of the diversion headworks are to rise the water level at the head of the canal, that the water level in the river should be raised to our required level by construction of the diversion headworks. So this is the objective of the diversion headwork. The second objective is to form a storage by constructing dikes. Dikes means embankments on both the banks of the river, so that water is available throughout the year. Means that diversion headworks are constructed for the purpose of storing water by constructing embankments on both the banks of the river, and so that we use water throughout the year. The third point or the third objective of the diversion headwork is to control the entry of silt into the canal and to control the deposition of silt at the head of the canal. In the river water we have silt and other pollutants, so diversion headworks are constructed to remove these silts and other pollutants, and clear water should be so that clear water should enter in our canals. So generally they remove silts and other pollutants from river water, and we get clear water in our canals. The last objective of the headwork is to control the fluctuation of water level in the river during different seasons. In different seasons the water level rises and as a result fluctuation of water occurs in the river. So to control the fluctuation of water in the river, to control this fluctuation, diversion headworks are constructed. The next topic is selection of site for diversion headwork. Number 1 point is, at the site the river should be straight and narrow. So that type of site should be selected at which the river is straight and narrow, so that construction of headwork is easy and also there is no loss of transmission. Number 2, the river banks should be well defined. The banks should be defined clearly. Number 3, the valuable land should not be submerged by the weir or barrage which is constructed. The elevation of the site should be much higher than the area to be irrigated. Means that the elevation of the construction site or diversion headwork site should be at higher elevation, so that the diverted water easily divert to our canals and we should easily use it for our irrigation or other required purpose. The site should be easily accessible by roads or railways. The construction sites should be easily accessible by roads or railways. The material of construction should be available in the vicinity of the site. The construction material should be easily available nearby the site. The site should be far away from the command area, should not be far away from the command area of the project to avoid transmission loss. Means that the construction site should be near to the command area so that easy transmission should be done through the command area at site area. Next is weir and barrage. It is a barrier constructed across the river to raise the water level on the upstream side of the obstruction in order to feed the main canal. So weirs are barriers which are constructed to raise the water level on the upstream side and to feed the main canals. So this is the structure which completes these processes are known as weirs. On the other hand, barrage, the ponding of water can be achieved by either only by a raised crest across the river or by a raised crest supplemented by gates or shutters working over the crest. On the other hand, barrages are structures which are constructed properly with gates, and the river water is controlled by these gates. When we need water, we close the gates and the water stores or impounds and we divert it for our required purpose. So the structure with proper gates are known as barrages. Here is the diagram of weirs and barrage. Weirs without shutter and weirs with shutter. Weirs without shutter, we have a barrier. The crest level is raised, and through this raised crest level which is raised, the impounding of water is done here, and then we divert this water for our required purpose, or use this diverted water for our required purpose. The next figure B, weir with shutter. Also, crest shutters are provided. Crest shutters are steel gates or wood gates which are installed at the top of the weir or crest level to ensure extra ponding of water in the time when the water in the river is less. So to store extra water for our required purpose, we install crust shutter at the top of the weir or barrier or at the crust level. In figure C, we have barrage with a small raised crust. In figure B, sometimes we also raise the crust level for extra ponding of water and also install the gates. So we have, through this raised crust, we have extra ponding, and also through the gate we store water, so we have large amount of quantity stored on the upstream side. In figure D, barrage without any raised crust. In figure B, we install the gates at the crust level without raising the crust and store the water through these gates. Next topic is difference between barrage and weir. What is the difference between barrage and weir? Barrage low set crust, weir high set crust. In barrage the crust level is at low, whereas in weir the crust level is high, at a height. Number B, ponding is done by means of gates, means gates are installed in barrages for ponding of water, while in weirs ponding is done against the raised crust or partially against crust and partially by shutters. Where in case of weirs, the ponding is done by a barrier constructed, and also sometimes crust shutters are installed at the top of the barrier for the extra ponding of water. C, gated over entire length. When a barrage is constructed, the whole entire length is covered with gates or installed with gates, whereas shutters is shutter in part length. Whereas in weir case, the weirs at the top of the weirs, sometimes shutters are installed in some part of length. Number D, gates are of greater height, whereas weirs shutters are of smaller height, normally 2 meters. Barrage gates are raised clear of the high floods to pass floods. When floods come in rivers, the gates are raised so that the flood water easily passes, where in case of weir, shutters are dropped to pass the floods. Barrage, number F point, perfect control on river flow, means that the water in the river can be perfectly controlled because gates are operated manually. So when we required water, we close the gates and the water stores, and when we do not need water, we open the gates and the water flows on the downstream side. Here in case of there is no control of river in low floods, because in weirs there is only a barrier and no gates, so water cannot be easily controlled. Number G point, gates convenient to operate, whereas operation of shutter is slow, involve labor and time. Gates can be easily operated in case of barrage, where in case of weirs the shutters are slowly installed or slow or in operation. We also involve labor and time. In case of number H point, in case of high floods can be passed with minimum efflux, where in case of weirs excessive efflux in high floods. Efflux means highest flood level. So in case of high flood, the gates are opened and the highest flood level will be minimum. Where in case of weir there is no gates installed, so more water will be stored and the efflux will be high, means that the highest level of water will be high, so there will be excessive efflux. I point is less silting upstream due to low set crust, whereas in weir raised crust causes silting upstream. J, longer construction period of barrages. where in case of piers, shorter construction period. K point, silt removal is done through undersluices, where in case of piers, no means of silt disposal. Also sometimes silt undersluices are provided, but normally not provided. L point, road and rail bridge can be constructed at low cost because already the structure is constructed and only we have to provide some necessary construction at the top of the barrage for railroad, etc. No, in case of pier, not possible to provide railroad or bridge. M point, costly structure because the structure is properly designed and constructed, so that's why the barrages are costly, whereas weirs are relatively cheaper structures. And this is the end of our lecture number 1.